Welcome back, guys. It's Jason with your Hopium free crypto update. Let's take a look at Cardano today. I put a poll out to you guys on YouTube, 20,000 votes. Nearly half of you wanted to see ADA again. There was a bit of conflict with what people wanted. People are sick of ADA, but at the end of the day, you guys win. That was the poll. Matic is a close second, and I'll do some more videos on Matic coming up soon, as I think that is looking like a pretty decent, strong horse at the moment. But enough said, you guys are here for ADA. So let's take a look at some of the stats on ADA. Obviously, we can stake ADA, and then ways that you can look for projects that are on ADA, along with is it time to buy, and also an exit plan that I would be looking at when it comes to ADA. So let's crack on with some of these stats. And of course, make sure you've hit the like button down below. Get it up. You guys are loving ADA. Look, it is in my interest to pump ADA up as much as possible because I have a staking pool. And if I want you to come and stake in my staking pool, then I want to make things sound happy and rosy and all the good stuff for you. But I'm going to tell you the way I see the charts, and that unfortunately upsets a lot of ADA fanboys who then dislike the videos. But as long as there's engagement, there's engagement. So we have a total of 4,700 pools. And if you do want to stake with the Investor Accelerator pool, there is a link to that in the description down below. Staking your ADA, earn some interest while ADA goes through a sideways period. There's a lot of total staked at the moment. You know, there's going to be a max supply of around 34 billion. Nearly 24 billion is total staked in ADA, so that's a good sign. 2,377 pools with blocks. So you want to have them with blocks so they're actually earning you interest, total delegators, and total rewards that have been paid out. So you can see a lot of stats on this site, ADA stat. Now you can see some pools here that have 10% effective interest rate per year. Note that a lot of these that have high interest rates have barely any epochs, depends the way you want to say it, with blocks. So they only have a small amount of total blocks. Now, the reason for that can be that they are new to the market and they haven't received that many rewards yet. This is one of our recent rewards here. So the guys who were in the pool on Epoch 308 received double the amount of rewards that they would normally receive. So you can see max performance of around 210%. So some of these are going to be low, 20 or 30 or 50%, and some of them are going to be really high. But long-term speaking, they should all start to average out to be around 3, 4, 5%, depending on the performance. So it is about luck, and that is all programmed into the blocks. I know you're here to see what to do now, whether you're buying ADA or selling it, but it's pretty interesting to understand how these pools work. You can see here, these are getting huge interest rates, but they don't have many blocks and they haven't been around very long. But once you start to go down to some of the pools that have been around a lot longer with 50 epochs with blocks in them, remember there's 308 epochs and total blocks that they've actually mined, 316, then you start to come down to a more reasonable rate of around 5%. And this drops over time to be around that 4 to 5%. So make sure you're looking out for that as well. Don't go scrambling into stuff that's high, but you don't have to take my staking pool either. Just make sure that you're looking for these stats as well. The stuff down here, total blocks and epochs with blocks in them so that they're actually getting used. Another place to look for Cardano projects is Cardstarter, and you can also follow this on Telegram. So there'll be projects that come out here. There'll be announcements from other projects that are getting listed, as you can see here. So you got KuCoin, but there's a lot of interesting stuff to find here if you want to get into very low market cap projects that are coming out on Cardano. So this is a really good place to start. Cardstarter announcement switches on Telegram, so you just get the alerts, and also on Twitter. So check those out. So that's pretty much what I want to look at when it comes to getting your staking pools organized, and then also making some money when it comes to projects that are going to be launching on ADA and of course through Cardstarter. Let's have a look at Bitcoin and ETH very briefly because this is going to affect the market and what happens to Cardano pricing. So everything I talk about today, you can use these same exit and entry plans when it comes to your own crypto. And I'll keep it really, really simple. But if you're interested in further learning and understanding, check out the link in the description down below to join our members in Patreon. I post there exclusively, almost on the daily, and we have many reports coming out, such as Monday mornings where we go through all of the markets. Bitcoin USD, hovering around our 50% level. I bring this up because the 50% level is a very important level to hold similar to what other people would look at in terms of their moving averages. But this is again 50% level. This will be our third week. If we close out in the next 4 days above our 48,900, then it'll be our third week closing above the 50%. So that's stronger. Obviously, if this starts to tank, we take out the 4th of December crash, which the low was 42,300, then we'll probably see lower prices on ADA, regardless of how strong ADA is. All the good news, anything that's coming out on it, the price will probably fall because Bitcoin is falling as well. Now let's look at Ethereum as well. And you can see here that ETH is actually holding much higher above its 50% level. So this is its range from the May-June crashes to the current all-time highs. And as for Bitcoin, it's on its 50%. So ETH is a lot stronger. So we want to make sure that whatever we're investing in, when we're buying it, is actually going to go up against Bitcoin and ETH. Otherwise, we're exposing ourselves to more risk. And of course, we're here as ADA fanboys. But as I said, it's in my interest to pump you up so that you come and stake and you enjoy ADA and you buy more. But we'll look at the real reality of what's happening to ADA in the price charts, not in my opinion, but in the price charts as well. But first, today's sponsor, Vauld. So Vauld is a cryptocurrency exchange where you can earn interest on this platform and also invest automatically with their automatic buying options here. So the other thing here is you can earn interest on BTC, on your stable coins, on ETH, and many other cryptocurrencies. You can see XRP, plenty of them. For BTC, 6.7, stable coins fixed at 12.6, and then ETH at 6.7. Now, they're also backed by pretty big names, Pantera, Coinbase Ventures, and their custody partner of BitGo, and they're also backed by Binance as well. So there's a lot going on with Vauld. I'll leave a link to Vauld in the description down below if you want to check them out and use them for your crypto trading and investing. But now on to ADA and ADA's price. Now, the first thing I have here is the pink arrow. I want to make mention to that because of the news. This was a day that I did a video when ADA was around $1.55 and the Sunday swap news came out. That pushed the price up. Next day, we see the market crash. And of course, people are saying, well, the whole market crashed, then you can't really consider that. But of course you can consider that. If the news was that strong, you would expect that the market should hold up. This was just the Sunday swap testnet news coming out. And since that point, the peak of that day of all of the interest, we're currently about 27% down from that news event. So as I've said, this will be my third time. It's in my interest to pump people up, just like all other Cardano, or specific Cardano channels that want people pumped up so they invest in their staking pools. That's just the nature of Cardano and the marketing, which is pretty good in my opinion. The staking pools work really nicely, and I've used quite a lot of other staking pools and they don't work as cleanly or as easily as Cardano's. It's just unfortunate we don't have as many projects as we would like. So what I'm looking at here, we got a lot of volume that came in on the 4th. That was the crash day. But unfortunately, the market has trended lower. So if you take a look at all of these closing prices, the trend is down. What we want to see is some of these closing prices get taken out. So we very soon want to see a price above 140. Otherwise, we'll probably start to test the lows again. And the crash day low is $1.09. And I think if we start to test that, providing it's a slow test, the market just slowly grinds down, then we should be okay, even if it does start to break that, because we have some more levels back at around 90 cents to $1 to hopefully support the price of ADA. I know it's not the hopium that a lot of people look for when it comes to ADA, but at the end of the day, this is your money. And personally, I don't like to be told fluff just for the sake of fluff. Right now, I'm fluffing around. We're looking at do we buy now or exit plans. We have some support here at the 38% of the macro Fibonacci extension. 50% is the ideal place to gain strength. So above $1.60 is the area that I would want to see ADA get to before I start to look for consolidation and I can start to accumulate more. Having said that, I'm not opposed to be buying ADA when I see some more dips and then a recovery and then maybe some consolidation before we see higher lows. So I'm always looking for the consolidation and the higher lows. And of course, if we do get those spikes, you want to see those closes start to close a little higher. But at the moment, the main trend, especially for ADAUSD, is that it is down. You can see that we take all of these off and then the closing prices just continue to trend down. So it's not the best, but one option, if it's a long term, is to be buying in as the market is falling with an idea of where you would get out. So do you get out when the market breaks down from 90 cents? Because beneath that, there's probably not too much support until you got to 80 and then probably down to 40 cents. Now, every time I mention those numbers, someone says, you said it was going to 40 cents. Not true at all. We're just looking at previous resistance and support for a potential rule and understanding for the plan. If we are buying on these dips because ADA is going to go to $10, $15, whatever it may be, then we got to have an idea of where we should get out if the market breaks down and doesn't go the direction that we expect it to. So that's the ADAUSD. The next things I look at is ADABTC to see whether there is some strength on ADA against Bitcoin. Currently, it is trending down and it is slowly finding some support at a previous level that ADA was winding up at before it took off. So this is around that 2,000 to 2,500 Satoshis. So ideally, you want to see the price come in and at least find support and start to make some higher lows up again. The same deal goes for ADAETH. We've come right back down into the zone that ADAETH was sitting in before it took off for the 2021 bull market. So we're pretty much all the way back down, sitting on our support line. If it breaks down into this zone, then it's probably just more waiting time, more accumulation. Now, my line in the sand here, where I'm exiting at a loss for ADA on my trading portfolio, I have the staking pool, which I've told you can find a link to down below and how to do all that. Staking pool, that stays the same. That's the long-term hodl. That's staying there. But in terms of my trading, the staking rewards, the stuff I've been buying, all that sort of stuff, I'd be looking at an exit price underneath these lows of ADAETH because that means the support has been broken and that ADA is looking much weaker than Ethereum. Same deal with Bitcoin. If this started to break down heavily and start to get into the zone of where it was accumulating at these lows of around 300 to 500 Satoshis, and it broke down, then you probably have to exit that because ADA is on the decline against BTC. In terms of an exit plan to the upside, if we're not waiting for these big high prices anymore for it to get to $20 or $15 in the short term, maybe in this cycle, then I would look to exit at the 50% levels at some resistance because ADA saw some resistance in the past. So this is the overall ADAETH, for example, and I use these charts to give me an idea of where I want to sell out when the prices are moving up, because sometimes the ADA or the USD charts just don't have any more data above them and you've got to use the fib extensions to give me an idea. So if I'm looking at ADA against Bitcoin or ETH, then that starts to show me where these markets might find some resistance in their USD pricing because they're overbought, valued against Bitcoin or Ethereum. So at the moment, ETH BTC got rejected once at the 50% and then could not make it not too much further, and it's come all the way back down. So I'd be looking to the underside of the 50% and then the major 50% as well. So in terms of BTC, 0.000045. So call around 4,600 Satoshis, and the lower one here now is 3,300. So that's not saying I'm going to sell exactly at that point, but I want to see how the market reacts when it gets to the 50% level. Same deal for ADAETH on the upside. We want to see how it reacts to 0.0006. That's the underside of this 50% level. And then the major 50%, which is where ETH got rejected at. So you can see the high to the major low. It got rejected at 0.00094. So somewhere underneath that side there between the 0.0008 and 0.0009. So I'd be looking at that as a potential move as it comes up. Maybe sell a little here. As the market starts to run up, sell a little more here. And if it starts to break through, I haven't sold everything, and ADA goes to the moon, we make a lot more money in that regard, and we make more ETH and Bitcoin as well. So it's a little bit early to start figuring out what I want to do from that point, but as long as I have it written down, I know what I'm looking for when it comes to the charts and the strength or weakness in ADA, at least I can then start to action that should we get there. But at this point, it does look like these are going to take some time, and I dare say we'll see some pity bounces, some relief rallies, some fade outs again. When these relief rallies come, the guys who are saying ADA needs some more time to rest are going to I mean, the regular people are just going to say you were wrong, you lost out. But at the end of the day, I just think these are going to need a little more ups and downs like we saw in the past. You can see the pump up, all the way back down, another pump up, all the way back down, pump up, all the way back down, and then small pumps within that as well. And this happened over a course of a couple of years. Should the market continue through in 2022, I think we'll probably have a little less accumulation than what we saw during the massive bear market. But nonetheless, I think we'll probably still need some times to wind up and settle down again. So there'll be plenty of opportunity to be buying into the lows. It's just a matter of patience and not getting swept up with the fanboys who will try and call you out on every other day that the market moves up a little bit and then proceeds to retreat all of the gains that it already had. Guys, hit that like, subscribe to the channel. The Investor Accelerator pool link is down below. Join us on Patreon if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys over there with more on trading and investing. Check out the links. I'll see you at the next video. Until then, have more fun to get more done.